everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel, and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I am basically building a 4-in-1 type of build, so honestly, it's up to you if you download these builds or if you even use them in your game. It's kind of up to you what you want to use it for, but essentially it is a bookshop, cafe, park, and apartment building in one. Here in the world of Brindleton Bay, which is of course the world that came with the Cats and Dog expansion pack, and it is my all-time favorite world. It doesn't matter how many worlds we get, what type of new, cool, pretty, beautiful worlds they give us with new packs. Brindleton Bay will always be my absolute favorite. I think it's so pretty. Obviously, it is very much catered towards people with either cats or dogs or both, which I love. I love cats, I love animals, it's just my favorite, and I just really love this like coastal town kind of vibe that Brindleton Bay basically gives, and it's my absolute favorite. I've talked about it before, I love it here, and I thought it was time to build here some more because I feel like it's been a minute since I've been building in Brindleton Bay, so I really felt like doing a residential rental in this world, like a multi-unit lot, essentially, because ever since For Rent was released and we got the residential rental lot type where you basically get to build multiple units for multiple households on one lot, and I actually haven't used that functionality in Brindleton Bay just yet, and when I realized that, I was like, wait, what? I haven't built any apartments or townhouses or anything in Brindleton Bay? That's crazy because I feel like it would be so cute here. So essentially that's what we're doing today, and I think this turned out so fun. As you can see here, I was working on this apartment building. I wanted it to look very much like, just like a kind of like a city kind of apartment building. You can kind of see buildings like this around in the area, like the live edit buildings are kind of like this too, like a coastal, almost like a New York kind of inspired apartment building, if that makes sense. I'm not sure exactly what to explain this as, like what type of building this is, but you can see it come together, and that is essentially what I was going for. And then on the ground floor, it's gonna have a small bookstore and also a cafe. I thought that that was such a cute combination of lots. I'm not exactly sure how you would use a bookshop in your game. I don't think it's necessarily functional unless you own the shop, and you in that case, you have to own the entire lot, including all the other things as well. And then I think you can run it as a retail shop or something like that. I've talked about this before. I don't know a lot about how retail shops work in The Sims 4. I've never really owned one through gameplay. I'm not exactly sure, but we do have a lot of fun things that kind of cater towards creating a bookshop, mostly from Get to Work, which is obviously the pack that brought us the retail lots and like the shops and stuff that you can own. So yeah, that's what you can do here on the ground floor. You can also set it to a cafe lot type because we have a cafe here as well. And then, as you can maybe already tell, the building actually kind of takes up only half of the space on the lot, and then on the other half of the lot I ended up creating a park. And it's not necessarily a dog park, but it does have stuff for dogs. If you want to do like a little parkour training or anything else like with your dog, you can definitely bring your dog here. I thought that was fun because this is the official or like the default park lot. When you first load into Brindleton Bay, this lot by default has a park, and it makes so much sense because it's like a nice little green area downtown. It's across from where you'll find the vet clinic, and I feel like it just makes sense to have a cute little park here. It's actually one of my favorite lots. I have built like a library / park here before as well. I think it's such a pretty space. And so I felt bad. Okay, I know this is ridiculous because we're playing a game, but I felt bad taking away the park and turning it into livable space for people to use instead of like a fun community lot for people in the area to come together. I felt kind of bad, so I was like, you know what, we're gonna turn half this lot into a park so that Sims can still come over and go to the park and do fishing and let out their dogs and meet, you know, that sort of a thing. And then we'll also still have this lot here that you can use as a cafe. I feel like it would be most fun to use this as a cafe in your game, because that way you'll have people show up and people will, or Sims, I call them people, they're Sims, you know what I'm talking about. People or Sims will probably also just like autonomously kind of walk over to the park because there's stuff to do there. And I think I forgot to set lot traits for this before I uploaded it to the gallery. But if you make it cat and dog friendly, then cats and dogs will just kind of show up and hang out there. And I think people will kind of autonomously bring their pets to the cafe as well, which is fun because I did place like a little dog bed or two and some food bowls and stuff in the cafe to make it look like dogs mostly are definitely welcome in the space. Cats probably too. That would realistically maybe not be a great idea, but in The Sims, that's just kind of how it works. I feel like you could use both lot types and then both show up and it's going to be really cute. You'll also have some strays probably hang around the place. In the park maybe even. I also placed some food bowls in the park, so if you go through and fill those up, that's what I always like to do. Whenever I play in Brindleton Bay and I visit a park or any lot that has food bowls for pets, I always go through and make sure to fill them, even though it costs my sim a little bit of money, because I think it's just so fun for the animals to have some food. And I don't know, I just think it's really cute. So that's what I did here too. And then the second and third floor, or first and second, it kind of depends what you refer it to as. But you know what I'm talking about. The top floors essentially are apartments. They're both one apartment, pretty spacious family, like 2-bedroom apartments, and the floor plans for them are identical. I only recorded furnishing the first apartment because the video was going to be so long already. You can probably tell this speed build footage alone is like 35 minutes long. So I know I've talked about this before too, but I do know that a lot of my viewers here do enjoy the longer videos, the longer speed builds to just kind of throw on when you're doing other things, which I find so fun because I feel the same way. And for the longest time, I was afraid that people would nowadays only want to watch shorter form content, but thankfully, at least for my audience, that's not the case. Anyway, that is completely sidetracked. But yeah, so I did decorate the first apartment. It is a very cute 2-bedroom family apartment. I furnished it for 2 parents, 1 child, and a small dog, because obviously they would have to have a pet living in this area and in this building. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking 2 dads and their child and their little dog. I don't know why. I think I was subconsciously kind of thinking of the household that ships with this pack. I think they're called the Heckings, if I'm not mistaken. Brett and Brent or something like that. 2 men living together. I'm not sure if they have children, but I do think they have a dog, which I think is really cute. But I was I think subconsciously kind of inspired by that family and kind of what they look like and their style. And so yeah, I was thinking 2 dads, their kid, and their small dog living here. And then the top floor apartment is not completely furnished. I actually left that one empty on purpose so that it's ready for your Sims to move in. I did make it like realistic move-in ready, as in I did do all the floors and wallpapers, I did the floor plan, I put in all the plumbing, I put in the kitchen and all the stuff that the apartment would probably normally come with if you're renting and you're moving in. I did all that, and then I just placed some boxes around the place to kind of make it look like maybe people are starting to move in, or maybe the previous tenants left some stuff behind. You know, I'll show you everything once we do a little tour of this lot at the end of the video. But yeah, essentially, also because it was just going to be a little bit of too much of like a long video if I were going to, you know, furnish both apartments, and maybe a little bit repetitive because the floor plans are exactly the same. And I wanted it to be realistic, so the floors are going to be the same, the kitchen, like tiles, the bathroom tiles and everything is going to be the same for both apartments. So yeah, I only furnished one, but I really like how that one came together. I think it turned out super fun. It's by no means anything modern. It's more so on the almost outdated side of things, but make it cozy. So we have lots of coastal vibes going on. I used a lot of cats and dogs in the apartment, cats and dogs stuff, because the vibe was obviously perfect for what I was going for. So yeah, that's what I did. But before we move on to the interior, we first have this park. This park took me way longer than it should have because the park is only very small. But for some reason, I was having a tough time trying to figure out a layout for this and what I was going to do, like how I was going to make it look cute. I wanted there to be lots of trees, but I also wanted there to be enough space for Sims to like do activities and just kind of walk around and gather around. And I also wanted there to be a pond because I had this vision in my brain where I wanted to create a bridge. So that's what I'm doing. I'm creating this small little bridge out of essentially just a foundation, and I made it a stilted foundation with stairs on either end. It's very, very simple to do this, but I thought that this was such a cute little addition to the park. Is it necessary? No, because the park is super small. It would have made more sense if this park was big and we had a huge pond in the middle and then you'd have a bridge. You know, I feel like that would make more sense. But I still wanted my little bridge even though my house was small. So that's what I went for, and I think it did turn out really cute. I actually made the bridge functional in the sense that I placed some chess tables on top. So if your Sims want to play some chess, there's actually a reason to walk over the bridge. I thought that was really fun. I also placed a small toilet or like bathroom stall in the back, which I thought was perfect. I was gonna build my own little bathroom stall thing, but these debug ones take up way less space. They're way smaller, and it was just easier to place. So I decided to place one of those to really make it look like an outdoor like park space. And here I was, of course, doing some landscaping. I wanted there to be lots of greenery, and I wanted to really try to, you know, make it tie in with the surrounding areas. I placed lots of trees. I did use a lot of Brindleton Bay landscaping here as well, but around the pond, I'll usually not use as much debug or live edit landscaping because the plants in debug, when you build a lot, you'll probably know this, but the plants in debug don't really want to snap to the height of your terrain. Usually they snap up and then it's floating, and you're either going to have to use tool mod or find some other way to kind of fix that. But the actual catalog landscaping doesn't do that, so that was very helpful. So no debug plants around the pond. It's not very interesting, but I thought it was worth the mention. And then here I also placed a small sign. I did forget to actually playtest the pond. I did make it so that your Sims can go fishing because I placed the fishing sign, but I forgot to playtest it. So I'm not exactly sure if it's functional. Sometimes the way I place things and the way I do my ponds, for some reason my Sims can't fish. But I did leave a lot of space free of landscaping, free of plants, so I feel like there should be at least a little area where your Sims can do some fishing. If not, maybe shuffle around the landscaping a little bit, and then it will probably end up working out at some point. One thing I also thought would be cute was to add some food stalls, and I decided to go for the Home Chef Hustle food stall for one of them. So if you wanted to do your own actual gameplay and you wanted to like bake goodies, maybe a family in the apartment and really enjoys baking, and every Sunday they like sell their baked goods at the park or something like that. I think that would be so cute. So that's why I placed the Home Chef Hustle market table, and then I also placed one of the, I think it's the For Rent debug night market stands where you can buy food. I'm forgetting which one I placed. I think there's 3 different ones that sell different things. I'm not exactly sure which one I placed. I just went for the one with the cutest colors that I just liked the best in combination with everything else. So that's what I did. I'm not exactly sure what they sell there, but it's cute. We have this little, you can see that we have this little market area here. I don't think a vendor shows up autonomously when you play, but you can hire a vendor. I think it's only like 100 simoleons or something like that when you hire a vendor. And then you can easily cheat that money back, or maybe a vendor will show up autonomously. I'm not exactly sure, but that would be even better if that were the case. I don't know. There's so much to playtest still. I completely forgot to playtest the park, so yeah, I didn't do that. But then, of course, I wanted this to be functional as a park as well, so what I had to do was I had to place a piece of playground equipment, and I settled on this swing set, which is actually from Lovestruck. I think that is such a pretty swing set. I love the rounded like arches, and it's so simple and minimalistic, and I liked it in this black swatch. I felt like it really went with the color scheme of the park. You can maybe kind of tell that I was envisioning this sort of at the beginning of fall or kind of like mid-fall. I did take my screenshots for this build in fall as well, which I know it's August, but it is, in my defense, it's August 30th. So fall starts basically in 2 days, right? Please tell me I'm right. At least that's how it works in my brain. So I did take the screenshots in the fall. I didn't actually build. I didn't set my game to fall before I started building this. So we're just kind of in the default summer state, like the build season, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I was definitely envisioning this in fall. Brindleton Bay looks gorgeous all year round, but it especially looks gorgeous in the fall because we have so many trees and just all the red tones that kind of are in this world, like in the streets and everything, like the brick and everything. It just complements it so nicely, and I just love fall. I love fall. It's my favorite season of all time. I've talked about this before. We know this by now, and I should probably stop talking about it, but I'm just so excited. I literally can't wait for sweater weather and fall builds. So expect a whole lot of those coming in the upcoming couple of months, I want to say. Also, okay, since we're on the subject, it's probably too early to ask, but I always struggle with Halloween themed builds. So if you have anything in specific, like any specific type of build that you would love to see me do come Halloween time, like a Halloween themed kind of build, please let me know, because if there's one thing I struggle with, it's Halloween themed builds. Maybe you don't enjoy those at all. Obviously that is also a possibility, but if you do and there is something in specific that you would love to see, please let me know, because it is definitely something I struggle to come up with ideas for. So yeah, any help is much appreciated. But yeah, here you can see I'm kind of starting to decorate the exterior or the terrace area around the bookshop and the cafe. I kind of tried to keep it very simple. I just parked some bikes, and then we have a couple of tables and chairs and some picnic tables in the back. And then that is essentially it. And then also what I tried to do, you can kind of see it, maybe not as well, but there is a side entrance here as well, so that the tenants living in the apartments don't have to walk through the coffee shop and bookstore to get to their apartment. So they do have a separate door on the side of the build that opens up into their hallway, which I also turned into a shared laundry space, I believe. And then they have a staircase and hallways leading to their apartments, but they can also enter it through the cafe and bookshop. Imagine living right above a bookshop and cafe. I think I would go broke in like 2 days. That would not be good for me. If I could browse books and sip coffee every single day by just going downstairs from my house, no, my wallet, my bank account would cry. It would not be good. But also I would love it, and that would literally be the dream. Let me know if you live in a situation like that, because I want to know. It sounds so cozy, and for some reason it kind of reminds me of Stars Hollow in Gilmore Girls. I know that is completely random, but that's sort of what it reminds me of. Like, imagine living in Stars Hollow in a small apartment above a cafe/bookstore. I'm probably thinking, if you're familiar with Stars Hollow or with Gilmore Girls, I'm probably thinking Luke's, because Luke lives in an apartment right above his cafe. So that's probably why I'm kind of connecting the two. But I think that would be so cozy. And then here you can see we have started on the interior. So when you first walk into the build, or into the building, I should say, there is going to be your small little bookstore area. It's only small, but I did try to place as many books as I possibly could. And I was also having so much fun with these curtains from Cats and Dogs. I think they're so pretty, and I don't use them nearly enough. Like those very, almost kind of, I'm not sure what to call it, but they kind of look like dollhouse curtains almost. I think they're adorable, especially in this blue swatch. It definitely makes it more coastal and just very cutesy. And then here I'm just placing all these bookcases, and then I'm basically just cluttering it up with these debug book stacks to really kind of capture the vibes of a bookstore where you have some books on display, and then also just like your regular bookcases filled with books to browse through essentially. But yeah, it really came in handy that I had my live edit, like organized debug installed so that I just could find all these book stacks within my build by catalog, and it was just very convenient and helpful. So yeah, that was no work at all to kind of browse through and fill that up with books. And then I also kind of wanted to decorate the place, so we just put some side tables with some knickknacks, some little statues, a boat, a globe, and then also these library carts. I feel like they definitely give more of like a library vibe, but they are a really cute book item that I feel like you can get away with in a bookstore as well. Maybe those are just like newly arrived books that need to be put away in the stacks, or maybe, I don't know, maybe this bookstore is also sort of like a library. That could definitely work. You could kind of pretend that your Sims just kind of go here to read and just like use it as a library. That could also definitely work and be cute. But I was more so thinking of a bookshop. And then I was just kind of decorating the place here. I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I really enjoyed placing those ladders against the taller bookcases. That is a debug ladder that comes with cats and dogs, and I love the trick of placing that against a bookcase and just kind of tool it into place so that it looks like it's leaning against the bookcase. I'm not sure if your Sims can still use the bookcase with that ladder in front of it, but there's plenty of other bookcases for your Sims to use in this space, so I feel like that's okay. And then of course I had to go through and make a cute little checkout, like desk or cashier kind of area. What is the word for that? I'm totally spacing out, but like the cashier area essentially, with a cash register and also just some extra books on display and some cozy little knickknacks. I placed a fan. I came across that fan. I don't recall ever using that desk fan, but I think it's really cute, and I came across it. I think it's from Get to Work, and it was perfect for this this space because maybe in the summertime it probably gets hot in Brindleton Bay too, and I don't think these people would necessarily have air conditioning. I don't think Brindleton Bay is one of those, this is really random again, but I don't think Brindleton Bay would be one of those areas where air conditioning is really common, because it does get hot, but only like a couple weeks out of the year probably. So it wouldn't really make sense maybe to have air conditioning. I don't know. That's why I thought the fan was a cute idea. And that's why I also ended up placing ceiling fans, which again, completely random, but I never place ceiling fans. I kind of just forget they exist. It's probably because here in real life where I live, basically no one has ceiling fans. Maybe some people do, but I barely ever see them anywhere. It would be nice at this point because our summers get really hot and we don't have air conditioning. So a ceiling fan would definitely be kind of helpful at this point, but I never place them because it's so it's not an everyday item for me in real life. So I just kind of forget they exist, but I did go through and place them because I thought they looked good in this build for some reason. So that's what I did. And then here in the back, we have a foundation, or not a foundation, a platform, a little one step up to the cafe. And essentially, I just kind of wanted this to look like a cozy living room. So that's what I went for. Of course, we have the cafe bar. I did, by the way, initially forget to actually place the coffee maker and the espresso grinder on the coffee area thing, the coffee bar situation. I completely forgot. You can see it is empty. I didn't place the coffee maker. I did end up placing the coffee maker before I uploaded it to the gallery, but I just completely forgot about that. And then we have some couches and some chairs as well. Another bookcase that is probably not functional because I placed a dog bed in front of it. But that's okay. We have other bookcases that are functional, so that probably works fine. And then we have a couple of bathrooms here too that I just kind of kept very, very simple. I did make use of the opportunity to actually use the cats and dogs plumbing. I literally never use that plumbing for some reason, even though I really like it. Like, the sink is really pretty. The toilet, I don't care. I just always use base game toilets. I don't know why. There's that one base game toilet that I use all the time for some reason. But for this one, I was like, you know what? I might as well try to use cats and dogs. And then here off of the bookshop, we have this, or bookshop, and cafe, essentially. We have this screened in porch area where I just placed some 4-seater tables and some extra chairs for your Sims to hang out. Maybe they can buy a coffee, enjoy their new book out there. I thought that would be really, really cute. And then that is essentially it for the bookshop and cafe space. And then we're moving on to the apartment. So here you can see we have a small side entrance that I tried to make look cozy. And then I decided to turn it into a shared laundry space. I thought that would be really fun and kind of realistic for apartments like this. Even though the apartments are spacious enough to have laundry either in the hallway or in the bathroom or maybe even in the kitchen if you wanted to, that is definitely something that would fit in there, but I had a lot of space here, so I thought maybe like a shared screened off kind of laundry area would be cute. And maybe the cafe owner also uses that laundry space to like do their laundry, you know, for all the cloths and the things that they need to do, that they need to put in a washer. And then we just have this area here, which is like the hallway landing staircase area that I tried to make sense here with the layout with the staircases. I think it's fine. It's not the greatest, but I think it looks all right. You do what you have to, you know, when you have to place all these staircases in a small space, but I think it turned out really cute. And then this is the first and only apartment I furnished and recorded for this speed build. And you can definitely tell that these apartments are pretty spacious. So essentially you just walk into this entryway space that has doors leading into every other space, essentially. We have a large, well, not large, but a pretty spacious main bedroom. We have a slightly smaller second bedroom that you could also very easily use as like an office if you didn't need another bedroom. Then you can definitely use it for that as well. But I felt like a more spacious family apartment. It was so nice. And then we have this open living, dining, kitchen area. I was gonna close it off, like gonna try and close it off more, but I actually really like the more open space. We have a really big, well, not really big, but a pretty big kitchen for these apartments as well, with some island counters as well. And I just really liked the moody, darker wood tones. I think I used different wood tones and also a different wallpaper, the same exposed brick, but a different wallpaper and different counter swatch for the apartment upstairs to make it look like they're definitely the same, but maybe this kitchen has been recently like painted or something like that. Maybe they did that, or maybe there's just like two slightly different variants of the kitchen in each apartment. That is obviously also a possibility. But yeah, I just thought that this open floor plan was really nice. I love this nook for the kitchen with the exposed brick. Again, it kind of reminds me of New York apartments from what I've seen on TV and on Pinterest. I've never actually been to New York, which is actually definitely a dream of mine. I want to go to New York in the fall. I think that would be so dreamy. I think I would love it so much. Kind of wander around Central Park in the fall. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably romanticizing it in my head because I've only ever seen New York in either TV shows or really pretty pictures or people's vlogs where it also just always looks super dreamy for some reason, which it probably isn't. Definitely not everywhere, but still, I want to visit in the fall and I think that would be so fun. But I think that's kind of subconsciously what I was inspired by here, like brownstone, New York inspired homes. I don't know. And you can see that I'm using a little bit of an older wallpaper here because, like I said, I did want this to be more on the outdated side of things. Still, I wanted it to be very luxurious and nice and kind of expensive looking, but everything is just a little bit outdated, if that makes any sense. That's kind of the mix I was trying to go for, and I still feel like it looks very luxurious. I'm loving all the brown tones in here. At some point, I did feel like I really needed to incorporate a little bit of color because it was so brown. It was a little bit too much. So I think I added some blue tones at some point. I did finish this build I think I finished this last week, so I'm not remembering everything exactly, but I think I just tried to mix and match some different colors to kind of, you know, add in a little bit of color because it was looking so brown at some point. And then here in this corner area, I was trying to create a really cute little seat, like a window seat kind of thing. The area is too wide for there to like fit a corner couch perfectly. We do have those corner couches in the game, but this is a 2-tile wide little diagonal space, so it was not going to fit properly. I could have probably made it fit and just like put in like filled up the empty space with shelves or something like that. I think that could have worked, but I liked this slightly more modern moment in the window. I just kind of placed some throw pillows in there to make it more cozy and kind of make it look like a little bench or like a little love seat there. And then this 6-seater dining area I think is so nice. I feel like that's perfect for this family because I was definitely imagining that these people enjoy inviting over friends and family for dinner parties. Or like not necessarily parties, but just like dinner get-togethers in general. I think they would really love that. So a 6-seater dining table would be perfect, even though it's just the 3 of them or the 4 of them, including the dog. So they definitely don't need that. But yeah, maybe they like to invite people over every Sunday or whatever, and they just like to have or host dinners at home. And then here we have the small living room space. I just love how this layout ended up working out. I feel like it makes sense for what I was kind of imagining for these Sims to have a slightly more spacious dining room and a slightly more cramped living room space, because that just helps make the living room space look more cozy. And like I said, I feel like they would spend a lot of time in the dining area and kitchen anyway. So I think that makes sense. What would have been even more perfect in this apartment would have been a fireplace. But the way this worked out with the window placement and everything, I tried, but I couldn't really make it work. It looked a little bit too forced, if that makes any sense. So I decided to just not go for a fireplace and put a TV unit under the window, which is not my favorite thing to do at all. I don't like to place windows or TVs by my windows, but it just ended up working out for this apartment, and I'm not too bothered by how it looks for this one. I also decided to use a smaller TV, so I feel like that definitely helps. If you're gonna plonk a really big TV in front of the window, I don't like it. It's a pet peeve of mine whenever I have to do that, and I will try everything in my power not to. But when you use a small TV and it's a more like older apartment, I feel like it's kind of fine. It makes sense that the floor plan isn't perfect, but it's still very cozy and kind of cluttered in a way. So that's what I was going for here, and this is where I decided that these people would probably have a small dog because I could only fit in a smaller dog bed and not have it be too cramped and have there be like routing issues and stuff. So I decided to place a small dog bed in the corner, which could obviously also perfectly work for a cat. You could also easily replace that for one of the smaller cat trees. That corner would be perfect for a cat tree too. So I feel like that works out perfectly fine. And then here we have the main bedroom of the house. The main bedroom actually has access to a balcony. I forgot to talk about that. I did the floor plan for this. It took me so long to figure it out. I really tried everything in my power pretty much to have it so that the balcony would be off of the living room space, but I just wasn't as good of a floor plan as this one ended up being. So I decided to just have the balcony off of the main bedroom, which I think is really nice. Like, that is a really nice addition to the main bedroom. So I decided to just go for that, and then that still makes sense. Everyone can still use that balcony. You just have to go through the main bedroom. I feel like that's not too much of a problem. And here I was using some blue tones, a lot of darker brown, of course, again, and then also that really pretty wallpaper from the Cats and Dogs pack that I just don't use enough. I think it's so pretty, but for some reason it doesn't always work out in my houses, so I don't always use it, but it's so pretty. And then here we have the kids' bedroom. I wanted to try and make this one, I wanted to tie it in with the rest of the house, like style-wise, when it comes to the furniture, but also this is a kid's room, so I wanted it to be a little bit more colorful, a little bit brighter. Obviously I wanted there to be toys and stuff, and that's where I rediscovered this Cats and Dogs single bed with the Cats and Dogs bedding that you can kind of see the little cats and dogs, essentially. I think it's both cats and dogs, maybe it's just cats. I think it's just cats, actually. Yeah, the cat's bedding. It's so cute, and every time I see it, I'm like, I want this in real life so bad. It's definitely like a kid's type of bedding, but it's so cute and I kind of want it in real life. I think it's adorable. The big cat on the pillowcase is just so cute. But yeah, here you can see this room is definitely a little smaller. I did definitely try to place as many toys as I could. But then of course they can also go to the park and play with a dog or use the swing set, play some chess, like that sort of thing obviously is also accessible for the child. And then here we have the shared bathroom. This bathroom layout, again, for some reason also took me a very long time to figure out. I don't know why, but my bathrooms are usually so small that I really only have one option for the floor plan. And every time my bathrooms are a different shape or a different size, I'm like, what do I do? How does this work? But I initially ended up with this layout. I did have to close off one square to make it look a little bit more built in and a little bit more seamless. So that's what I did. I made it a little bit smaller. But then again, I think still this bathroom is a little different than what I usually do. And I think it looks really nice. There's definitely some counter space and some storage space in here as well, which is nice. And then I also placed hampers because of course we do have the shared laundry downstairs. So it's nice to have some hampers on hand for that gameplay as well. And then I forgot about the balcony, but I quickly placed a couple of benches. There isn't really any sort of activity out here. I do think you could very easily place an easel or something out here, and then that is fun. But that is essentially it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the build in real time. So this is interesting. I loaded into this stare-off between Agnes Crumplebottom and my playtester sim. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but it looks pretty intimidating. Anyway, here we have the build in the game. I really tried to make it seamless and like make it blend in with the rest of the world. I think I did a pretty okay job. I wish we had this same brick that you can see here as a terrain paint or as a tile, so you could make it even more seamless. Unfortunately, we do not have that, so I just used this one from, I think it's from the garden, that one kit with the garden stuff. What's it called? Greenhouse Haven, that's what it is, yeah. But yeah, here you can see the building. We just have some cozy tables and chairs around here that belong to the cafe. There are some bikes parked here, and then around here, I didn't really do too much, but we do have this entryway space for the tenants to go up to their apartments. And the mailboxes are kind of hidden in this area as well. There is a dumpster back here for some fun gameplay, and then just some benches, some picnic tables and stuff. And then next door obviously is the park. In this park here, there is a cute market area. You can hire a vendor here, and then you can also actually use this one. You can't hire a vendor for this one, but you can use it yourself if you want to do a baking sale or whatever, then that would be really cute. There's some picnic tables here. I also placed some food bowls for dogs or cats. A small picnic area back here by the market stalls. And then of course we have the bridge with the little string lights, and there is chess tables here. I think that's really, really cute to play some chess here. And then back here we just have a swing set, some bathrooms, and then this area where you can train your dog. It's only small, but you can still get some work done. Then going inside, in the front here we have the bookshop. I think this turned out super cozy. At first I wasn't sure about all these windows in the front, but I really like it. It looks so inviting. The lighting is gorgeous. So yeah, we have the little cashier area here. There's some books here in this bookcase with a ladder. We have a lot of books on display here and also some decorations. I just really love it. And then in the back here, we have this one step up platform that leads you to the cafe. As you can see, I did remember to place the actual coffee makers in the coffee area. There is lots of little baked goods. There is some decorations behind here as well. And then I just really wanted to make this look very cozy, inviting, and basically make it look like a living room space. So I placed some couch setups here. There are some areas for dogs to sleep, but I also at the same time try to make it spacious so that there is a lot of space, or at least enough space for Sims to walk around. And then in the back here, we have a couple of bathrooms, which is really not interesting, but they're there. Then over here, you can enter into this hallway laundry space through the cafe as well. This is just a shared entryway with laundry and a bike parked. And then then when you go upstairs, this is where we have the hallway and entrance into the very first apartment. So basically you have this hallway space here, but we just have this old chair here to sit down and put on your shoes. There is this coat rack here, some shoes placed, an umbrella rack, which is definitely something you use in Brindleton Bay because it rains a lot here. And then right here is where you have the archway into the open living, dining, and kitchen. It really speaks for itself, but yeah, I love this very moody brown and blue living room space. It's so cozy. There's a small bookcase here so that it doesn't take up a lot of space. The dog can sleep in the corner here, and then over here we have the perfect spot for a pretty spacious kitchen actually. So yeah, you have all your appliances. I wanted this to be a little bit cluttered because, you know, it is a family with a kid living here. They have a small coffee area here on the island counters, and then back here is their dining area, which I think is my favorite area of the house. I feel like it's very cozy. I love this bay window back here that I created, and these throw pillows are just so cozy. And then we have this china cabinet. There is a bunch of treats for the dog. So yeah, I feel like this is the perfect apartment for just family life. Off of the hallway here is the kids' room, which is definitely a pretty small bedroom, but for a kid or teen's room or a home office, I feel like this is actually the perfect size. This one's very light and airy, lots of blue and yellow, and obviously just enough toys for the kids to play with. Then on this side here, we have the main bedroom, which is very simple. I just placed this cats and dogs bedroom set. Loving the wallpaper and white curtains in here. I merged some wardrobes together for a slightly larger wardrobe. There is another bed for the small dog in here as well. And then they actually have access to a balcony here, which I just placed some love seats so they can hang out here. And then over here, of course, we have the shared bathroom. There's only one bathroom in this apartment, which I feel like makes sense for 2 bedrooms. Just a shower tub combo, sink, toilet, and then some hampers for laundry. And then going to the top floor, we just have another hallway here. I just did some basic hallway decorations. I also placed some trash chutes in here. But then over here, we have the second apartment. And as you can see, this one is ready for your Sims to move in. So I just placed the essentials. We have the full kitchen here, just not cluttered. We also have the full bathroom in here, just not cluttered. And then for the rest, I placed some boxes around and some older pieces of furniture that maybe previous tenants left behind. So you can sell those or keep those, use them to furnish the place. But yeah, this way your Sims can just kind of afford the place and then you can do with it whatever you want. So these Brindleton apartments are up on the gallery. I put it on the gallery as a residential lot, but you can use it as a cafe, park, or residential rental. And then you can also use it as a retail lot, but then I do think you have to own the entire lot. So maybe the bookshop is just for vibes, but you know, whatever you want to do. I built it in Brindleton Bay on a 40 by 30 on the lot that is by default the park, and the entire thing comes in at 197,000 simoleons, a little bit over even. So yeah, it's definitely expensive, but there is a lot to explore here, I feel like. So yeah, if you want to place it in your game, then you can get it off the gallery. But that's gonna do it for today's video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery. Like I just showed you, my username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok if you like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you'd like to get notified of every time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!